What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Well, we are about 45% of the way there on our new house over here at Rice Acres. So we're gonna do a little bit of a walkthrough, walk around, and I'll show you where we're at, a little bit of an update and how this house is laid out on the inside now that it's framed. So if you haven't seen any of my previous videos or haven't been to my channel, me and my wife are building a new house. We are currently living temporarily in an RV. We're sitting on about 2.5 acres, which I'm going to clear a little bit more. That's why I got the big machine over there. We are building a house from the ground up, and we wanted a house that is small enough. Let me rephrase that. We wanted to build a brand new house, ranch style, but go as small as we possibly could go without feeling cramped, because we've been in bigger houses before and we just don't need it. They're almost done with the roof. They'll be finished on another day here. You know, you see we have a front porch here, pretty large front porch, front entryway. It's gonna have decorative columns. We have a double entry door, and then you got matching 3-bay windows on each side. But now that this house is framed, we can walk through it, if you guys have been following along, and understand how this is gonna look. Currently, they are almost done with the HVAC and the plumbing's done. The electric will be here. In a couple days, they'll be done. Walk through again, make sure everything's good. Insulation, obviously get your rough inspections, insulation, then sheetrock. So from the time you guys see this video, it's probably about a week out from sheetrock. But as you walk in here, your main entry foyer area, that's what you want to call it, is going to have a center mount ceiling fixture, and you can see how high the ceiling is. Most of the ceilings in this house are anywhere from 10 to 18 feet tall. You can see here up in the dining room, very small dining room, just to be able to fit like 6, 7, probably about 6 people. We have an elevated ceiling there, like a tray ceiling. So the dining room is right off the foyer, just big enough to fit about 6 people. And when we have a big party, I'll show you what we have. Room outside to have more people, or we can set up, basically some plastic tables if I'm having a lot of people over for the holidays. But like I said, I want to go as small as we possibly could go without feeling too cramped. Right off the dining room, sorry, I'm kind of spinning around there fast for you. I think the ceilings in the kitchen, I think they're 11 feet. So you got 11 feet in the kitchen, and then you got that 11 feet carrying over till it goes up to the tray in the dining room. But this is the kitchen right here, guys. Not super big, but also not small. You're gonna have the refrigerator, cabinet, range, hood, cabinet, dishwasher. Your sink here, looking out the back of our yard. It'll be all nice when it's all cleaned up and grass and everything is done there. Then you got a cabinet over here. Then you also have a 4x8, I think. 4x8, or actually the marking's on the floor, maybe 4x9 feet. I forget now. I think it's like 4 feet wide by 9 feet long. So you have this island over here too as well to sit at, and well, it's enough to fit 4 chairs. So you can do 4 chairs here, 6 people at this table, and you still have plenty of, let me rephrase that, you're close enough that you can still talk to each other if we still kind of want to have dinner together. But obviously I didn't want a huge dining room, because all the other houses we had big dining rooms in, whatever, we barely used it. I mean, your formal dining room is used maybe once or twice a year, if that, depending on how large your family is and how many dinners you have. But for the amount of times we used the formal dining room, we didn't need a big dining room. Most of the time we'll probably be sitting at the island eating, and then like I said, if we have a party, we got people there, or we have the big back porch where we'll have it screened in and conditioned to have people outside. Then you have your living room here. Big living room. We have a huge sectional that we still have that's going to fit in here with the TV on the wall. We didn't do a fireplace or any of that stuff just because of the cost of the fireplace, but this is where we're at. So we have this with TV be on the wall here, and a big open living room which goes to your kitchen, your dining room, your front foyer. And here I'm going to have some French doors going into my office. Well, my wife and mine, but more mine for doing my editing and filming and all that stuff. And I got plenty of natural daylight. And the office is just big enough to put a cabinet in, a desk, and a few other things, and hang some nice pictures on the wall. So once again, a nice little place for me to do my editing, and I could also see what's going on out in the living room, and my wife can talk to me from the kitchen. Right off the living room, this room here, no closet in it. We could always add a closet if we want to, but this is going to be considered our playroom. So this is where my son will have his buddies over, and where he can hang out, keep all of his like smaller toys behind the door, and have a TV on the wall, have a nice couch in here, maybe his desk to do his homework, and this will kind of be his playroom. slash his workroom, if you want to call it, to do his stuff for school and everything else. Obviously, I wanted the house big enough so when my fishing buddies come over, they have a place to sleep, or I have family members. So walking off this living room this way, we did a little foyer right in here, or a little hallway. You can open up the door here, and then we have a guest room here. Also in that playroom, we'll also do a pull-out couch so somebody could sleep in there, and we also have a guest room. Then here, it was set up originally for a Jack and Jill bathroom. We got rid of that and did its own bathroom, got rid of the tub, and did a walk-in shower stall with a pan, and this will all be tile and everything. This will be for my son. So you got your shower, your toilet, and your vanity. And once again, all your ceilings in all these rooms are running at that 10-foot mark. So it makes it feel a lot bigger than it really is, even though it's not small. But you know, when you have higher ceilings like this, it makes it feel super, super big. And speaking of ceilings, we're gonna go back to that. This will be my son's room, about the same size as the guest room, but I think it's a little bit bigger. He has a closet, so he has the bigger of the 3 rooms along this. But speaking of ceiling height, I forgot to look up for you guys. You can see, basically I got a barn style roof in the living room. So it really opens up this space. So you got the 11 foot there. You got about, I think it's about 18 feet here in the center of this ceiling for our living room. So this makes it feel super huge. We're gonna have a bunch of recessed lights up here and just a fan in the middle. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna run a fake wood beam down the center of this to dress it up a little bit. It's part of the package from the builder. You know, maybe down the line, I may dress it up with real reclaimed wood. If you guys know me personally or seen some of my other stuff on some of my other things I've done in the past, I do a lot of reclaimed woodwork with real barn wood. So we have a decent trim package in this house, but I will still add some more things down the line. Probably underneath the TV, I'm gonna do some base cabinets. I'll probably do 2 sconces with a switch on either side of the TV as well. And that usually dresses that up with some shiplap probably on the wall, which I'd have to run all the way up to that ceiling, do shiplap on this whole wall down the line, and it'll really dress it up with a couple wall sconces, but that'll be a farther down the line, maybe in a couple year project. So when you walk out the back of the living room slash kitchen, you have this huge back porch. Once again, tall ceilings. There's gonna be a couple of ceiling fans out here and some recessed lights as well, but you can see how big this porch is. Once again, there'll be some nice decorative columns here in the back, I think. I forget now. Yeah, I think there's still decorative columns, but what I'll do is I'm gonna screen this in, because you know, we're down here in the South, you have to do it, because if not, you'll be attacked by mosquitoes. When it's chilly out, you know, I was thinking about doing a glass room, but I don't know, they kind of get too hot. So if we're out here hanging out, we're gonna do the screen porch, not the glass. You can see how big this thing is. Probably just do some of those like portable standing propane heaters to keep you warm out here, and with that fan circulating the air around, it'll feel warm out here. Now the original layout of this house, you can add as addition, you could do a fireplace out here, outdoor kitchen. I can still always do that because where this is located, it's behind my garage. So I could get, you know, electric out here and maybe do, you know, built-in kitchen out here if I wanted to, if I need to, or I probably will. Maybe add some, you know, like a cooktop out here or whatever, and have kind of like an outdoor area. Maybe even just an electric, you know, flat top grill instead of doing like the Blackstones or whatever. But that's gonna be once again down the line. But we have such a huge back porch here to do a lot with. So we'll have a big table here, you know, for outdoor furniture for eating. I'm gonna do a TV on that wall, and then over in this area here, or I think it was a TV on this wall, I gotta look at my layout, forget. You know, I'm gonna have some couches, outdoor couches out here with a TV. I think it's on this wall, and I think maybe not that wall. I have to look at my layout, but yeah, I'm gonna do an outdoor TV out here too, so we can hang out here and also watch some TV when we're out here and have some outdoor couches. So we have this huge back porch, and when this is all nice and clean and cleaned up, this is gonna be a beautiful place to hang out and be in private. That's that area. Now we get into our side, our master suite, our side of everything. So right off the kitchen, once again, we're carrying that 10-foot through the ceilings here. We have our walk-in pantry. Not too small, not too big. Come to the right, we have our powder room right off the garage. So if I'm outside working, I can just come to the garage, take my shoes off, do what I gotta do, and go right back out and hang outside and do the work like I always do. So just, you know, nice vanity, toilet, then this is gonna have a pocket door in here. Inside here, I'll probably do a little bench here as, you know, like your drop zone, and probably have a charger here too, because this is where I'll be going out and this is where I'll be keeping my phones at night. So I'll have a little drop zone here, and you got your pantry. Then as you continue down the hallway here, we have a big laundry room, huge. So my wife wants to get some speed queens because we do so much laundry and we go through washers and dryers like crazy. But we'll have our speed queens over here, plenty of room for stuff. Have probably a little cabinet here with a top, and then we have this whole wall here too as well, that we can put some cabinets on, some base cabinets on the top, and she can do some folding, keep all the laundry detergent in there, maybe do some uppers over the top of something. But once again, we have a huge laundry room that we can work with here. Then don't want to go too big with our master suite, but as we walk in here, once again, huge 18-foot ceilings, or 17, somewhere around there, I forgot exactly what it was. Same thing as our living room, big barn style. So this is plenty of room for a couple nightstands, a king bed, maybe a little chaise lounge over here where I can sit down and read or do whatever I want to do, and you know, hang out in here and have a TV on the wall over there. So plenty of room for everything, and even if you want to do a dresser down the line or whatever. Then we have our master bathroom. We've had huge showers with 16,000 heads in the past. Didn't want to do that. Simple 4-foot, I think 4x5 or 5x4 or 4x4, I forget, pan for the for our shower here. Simple one head diverter, all done, and there'll be a recessed light up in there. But once again, tall ceilings throughout the whole house. So you got 11 foot in the kitchen, 10 foot everywhere else, and then you got your big barn ceilings, you know, your big barn style roof ceilings. So because we didn't do a tub in the other bathroom, we are still doing a soaker tub here. So if we ever do sell, which I hope not, because this should be a place where I get buried in the yard, we did do a soaker tub here in case we do sell, that the house still has a tub for people with children. And then we have a little toilet room here that the door swings out at an angle, and you have your privacy when, you know, if I'm in there using the bathroom, my wife has to come in and get ready. 2 separate vanities, one on each side. Then we have our master closet. So I'll probably grab the left side, she'll probably grab the right side. She'll probably take about 60% of it, and I'll have about 60-70%. I'll take about 30% of it, because I pretty much wear the same things over and over again until I wear them out. Last but not least, we got our garage. Pretty decent sized garage. So you got your bigger car and a half, 2-car garage door, if that's what you want to call it. But you can see how much room my wife has to park whatever vehicle she gets or has in here. And it's going to leave me plenty of room to build shelving all the way around to about right there, and then also down this wall, the wall that you don't see. That's the wall I'm going to build after the fact. So I'm going to have a wall going down the middle between these 2 doors, and I'll have shelving all the way around, plenty of room for her to park. We'll have a fridge out here and everything, and then it's where on the shelves where she's not going up. Once again, tall ceilings. Doesn't have to climb up into an attic for Christmas decorations or anything else. Everything will be here. All the Christmas decorations, my son's toys, bikes, etc., whatever, will all be right here, and we'll be good. And she'll have plenty of storage. Then you have this little side over here, little tiny door, because this is kind of like my tool room, fishing tackle, all that stuff. And I'm also going to be insulating half of this garage, ceiling and walls, so I can condition this space. A little tiny golf cart door, if that's what you want to call it, but it's really just going to be a regular garage door that goes up and down. I still have room in here if I want to drop a kayak in here temporarily. But this is where all my shelving will be, all my fishing tackle, all my tools, everything that's in a dry contained space that I can keep nice, and also, you know, do some filming in here for you guys when I'm doing any tackle reviews or whatever. Obviously it'll be a man door walking through here, which I'll probably favor this way, so I have a lot of wall space to put shelving for me as well. Be lit up nice and bright, so I have a nice little conditioned space for myself, and I can shut the door and do what I gotta do and keep things locked up if I need to. That's where we are here with the garage. We'll do a kind of a walk around the house, but you can see everything is a ranch, just what we need, and that's it, and nothing else more than what we don't need for me and my family. But you can see we got a black roof. It's going to be white vertical, board and batten siding, so black roof, white house. The foundation underneath, and they got to clean up some more there yet, obviously. The foundation underneath is going to be painted black. So we're going to do a black foundation, black roof, black or white house. Will I add shutters to this and stuff down the line? I don't know, but this is going to be kind of really a modern farmhouse. You can see how much roof I got. Tell you, it's going to cost me an arm and a leg to do this roof later, but it's got a lot of characteristics to this house, and it's got a lot of, you know, details to a lot of volleys, a lot of pitches that really dress it up, especially with those columns in this front porch entryway. It's going to look really nice. Then up top there you can see I got a double window, but you can see through it. You can see all the joists up there and all the trusses. You're not going to see that. That window up there is just for the look of it, and then the window will be tinted so you can't see through it. So it just dresses up the front of this house. I almost thought about taking that window out and say, do we really need that? But for the cost of adding that double window, which will be stationary and tinted, it just dresses up the front of this house. So you think there is an actual second level to the house, but there's not. It's just for aesthetic looks of the house. With all these hips and these valleys and the details, it's going to look pretty pretty cool in my opinion, and it's not too big, not too small. And I think down the line here too, we're also gonna do black gutters, and I have to dig out all the pipes to get all this water away from the house, but we'll do black gutters on this house too, and I'll dress it up. You know, there'll be some coach lights here. No recessed lights up in the ceilings. I've done those in the past because I'm an electrician myself, but I never turn them on. I just do the couple coach lights here, a couple coach lights outside the garage doors. But as this house gets finished and, you know, I can start showing you the finishes, you'll see what I did for lighting. Kept it very, very simple with the switches because, once again, simple is key. I say that on my kayak videos. The less stuff that you have, the less gadgets you have, the less problems you're gonna have, and things will just work. Simple switches on and off. You leave the room, you turn them off. I do add some motion sensors in certain rooms, like a pantry where you open the door, it will turn on for you. So especially if you're carrying something, you have to worry about that. Probably laundry room will have a motion sensor. In the garage, you know, I'll have cameras outside. I'll have some floodlights, motion lights, and I'll also have my landscaping lights dressing this place up at nighttime too, because that's my thing. I like the look of a house that's lit up at night, just to give that little added touch, and it looks really, really cool from the street. I will keep updating you. It's gonna look pretty cool when it's all done. Like I said, it's a decent trim package, but not overly done, not overly expensive, to keep this thing in budget. And I'll do dressing up of trim as time goes on, and add cabinets and all that stuff. And, you know, I'll even probably update that stuff to you guys on this channel as well, because that's why I changed it in RJM Adventures, because I just want to do more than just kayak fishing and fishing and truck stuff. It kind of gives you guys an idea of, you know, ideas for yourself, for your house. To me, why not have a channel that covers everything that we all love to talk about and see and get ideas from everybody else? Coming along pretty fast. By the time you see this video, like I said, it'll probably be sheetrocked or almost ready for sheetrock. I'm going to do some rotten cotton or mineral roll in some of these walls for some sound deadening as well myself before they put the sheetrock on. And I should be in this house like mid-April. So we're really moving along. They're doing a great job, the builder. I'll leave the builder who's doing the work in the description of this video. So if you're in the Carolinas, reach out to them. It's called Ragland Homes. When you look for a builder, you know, you're always going to see reviews out there on Google and everybody else on social media. If one person has like one little tiny hiccup with a builder, or doesn't like something, you know, right off the bat, they go on social media or on Google and say they're, you know, pieces of junk, they suck at building. But I can tell you right now, from living down here for over 5 years now, even though I'm not in the residential world, I see what goes on, and I see the quality of these tract home builders with all these developments trying to get a whole bunch of people down here. They're built like shit. They're cheap. They do bare minimum. A lot of times they don't give you choices of what you can do as the finishes. Ragland Home is a custom, semi-custom to custom home builder. You can go as elaborate or as simple as you want, but the quality of their subs are good. The quality of their project management is good. And if they're not, reach out to me and I'll go kick them in the ass for you and tell them to do a better job. But, you know, there's a lot of builders down here in the Carolinas that just suck. So we did our research. We've seen some of their work before we signed on with them. So I suggest that too. Go look at people's work. See what their finishes look like. You know, the roughs are important too. So kind of see how they do their roughs and how they do their finishes, because the finishes could look good, but inside the walls could be absolute garbage. Even though they say they get them inspected, I see some of these inspectors down here and they do a crap job at inspecting as well. Sometimes they don't even show up and they just sign off on it. I've seen that already too. So just do your research. We know that in today's world, a lot of builders are just after money. People still take your money and run. That's still out there. That's why I want to do videos like this, because if you're in the area, you can take my word for it. But these guys have been great so far. As always, with any builder, you still want to stay on top of your builder. You want to be in communication with them. Make sure everything is good along the way. You know, just double check their work. Make sure, you know, they have meetings before they sheetrock to make sure everything is in the walls. I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'll get back with you. I look forward to keep sharing our progress here at Rice Acres. I'll talk about some outbuildings later on as we get there. But yeah, we got some things going outside here too as well, besides the landscaping and grading, which is a lot because we're on about 2.5 acres. So I'll see you guys later. As always, be safe on the water. I'll catch you in the water, or I'll see you here from Rice Acres. See you guys soon.